Hey guys, welcome to Sweet and Small. Today we are going to be making two variations of chocolate cupcakes. One is a chocolate cupcake that is filled with a raspberry compote and is topped with a raspberry buttercream. The second is a chocolate cupcake that is filled with a strawberry compote and topped with a strawberry buttercream. I'm going to walk you through all of the steps today, from the chocolate cupcake all the way through to the buttercream. Let's get started with the equipment you will need. The first thing you are going to need is a cupcake tray. You will need 2 cupcake trays because we are making 24 cupcakes. You'll also need cupcake liners, and you can get them in a variety of colors and with pretty designs on the side if you like. The next thing you're going to need is a mixer. You can use a handheld mixer or a stand mixer, either one works. Today you're going to need a variety of icing tips as well. We are going to use 3 different variations for our decorating, and also we are going to use the round tip to fill our cupcakes. You're also going to need piping bags. You will need at least 4 disposable piping bags because we'll be using one for the buttercreams and one for the fillings. In addition, you will need measuring cups. Just to measure our ingredients. Please ensure that you do follow the measuring cups and don't heap anything. Cupcakes are kind of like a science. You'll need to have exact measurements, especially for the buttercream. Now that we've gone over all of the equipment you will need, let's go over what you need to make a chocolate cupcake. The first thing you're going to need is 3/4 cup of milk. The second thing you will need is 1 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. In the third bowl here, you will see that we have combined the ingredients already, but you will need 1 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, preferably unsweetened, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Next, you will need 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. For this recipe, you need 4 eggs. Last but not least, you need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, preferably pure vanilla extract. The first thing we are going to do is combine our oil and our granulated sugar. So I'm going to just pour the oil in right now. Try and get all of it out. And now the granulated sugar. And so we're going to mix it at a medium speed. So once it's combined, we are going to start adding our eggs one at a time. So just crack it on the side of the bowl, add it in, and then mix. Make sure that they are well combined before you add the next one. If you need to, just scrape the sides of the bowl to ensure that the sugar falls down. Okay, and then you can add your next egg. Again, scrape the bowl if you need to. And add your next egg. Okay, we're going to add our final egg. And mix one last time. Okay, I'm just going to scrape the sides of the bowl. So now what we're going to do is add our vanilla extract, and that's 1 teaspoon. And we're going to add our flour mixture. So we've already combined our cocoa powder, flour, and baking soda. So if you can just combine it thoroughly. And now we're only going to add 1/3 of it to the mixture. So just portion out 1/3 of it. And then we are going to mix. You can scrape down the side of the bowl if you need to. Definitely need to here. And you can add a portion of the milk mixture now. I would add a half right now and then half after. Okay, another 1/3 of the cupcake mixture. Mix again. So scrape down the sides of the bowl. Okay. And I'm going to add my milk mixture now too, the remaining of it. Okay, so now I'm going to add the remaining of the flour and cocoa powder mixture. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl and give it one last mix. Just mix it until it's combined. Okay. If you need to, scrape the sides of the bowl. And there you have it. Our chocolate batter is ready. So we're going to start filling our cupcake liners now. So now that we've got our batter done, we are going to go ahead and fill our cupcake liners. I'm going to use a measuring cup. You can use a spoon if you feel that's easier. Just fill it 2/3 of the way up. So you notice the batter is a little runny. It's fine. It cooks really great. It's okay if you make a mess. Don't worry about it. You can just always wipe it off later. Okay, you can go back in and fill in any ones that you notice have a little less. These cupcakes are to be cooked at 350 and they take about 14 to 18 minutes to cook. You'll know they're done when you stick a toothpick inside and you pull it out and it's clean. Okay, and we are just going to wipe off the sides and put it in the oven. Okay, so now that our cupcakes are in the oven, we are going to go over the raspberry and strawberry compote as well as the raspberry and strawberry buttercreams. I've already created our raspberry and strawberry compote. This is the strawberry and this is the raspberry. It's pretty simple. You would need 1.5 cups of strawberries and 1.5 cups of raspberries. 1/4 cup of sugar for each, so 1/4 here and 1/4 here. And you will also need 1 teaspoon of lemon juice for both. So 1/2 teaspoon here and 1/2 teaspoon here. You will combine everything in a saucepan and on medium heat to stir it until it dissolves. So for the raspberries, please just mash it while it's dissolving. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And for the strawberries, you have to pre-cut your strawberries so that they don't create big lumps, so you can get it through your piping bag. Okay, so those are the 2 compotes. It's important that they're cold. So you can either make them the day before, or you can make them while your cupcakes are getting done and then just cool them in the fridge. So that's the 2 fillings. So now we're going to move on to the buttercreams. For the buttercreams, you will need 4 cups of icing sugar for each. So that's 8 cups in total. You will need 1 cup of butter or 2 sticks of butter for each, preferably unsalted. You will also need 1/4 cup puree of raspberry and 1/4 cup puree of strawberries. I've already pre-pureed these, but you can add a little bit of water just to help the blender blend. So let's get started on our buttercream. Okay, so we're going to start off with the raspberry buttercream. What we're going to do is put our softened or room temperature butter, it should have been out for a few hours at least, into your bowl. I've just cut mine into cubes just for easy removal. It's easy. Okay. The second stick. So what we're going to do is add a little bit of our icing sugar and we're going to mix on low speed. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the icing sugar. Okay, and now we're going to add our raspberry puree. It's a little too thick, you can add a little bit of milk to it, but I just have a little bit left over of the puree, so I'm just going to add that to it. And you can scrape the sides of your bowl if you're finding a lot of the icing sugar is stuck to the sides. So once you scrape the sides of the bowl, you can get started again in mixing it. Make sure it's at a low speed. Okay, and once you've got it at the texture you want, which I think I do, it's nice and creamy. And I'm just gonna scrape off the sides of the bowl. And we've got a lovely raspberry buttercream. So now what you're gonna do is the exact same process with the strawberry puree. Okay, and you're gonna get the exact same thing. If you would like, you can take out the seeds or strain the seeds of the raspberry. I didn't, I like the texture in it, but you can as well. So by the time you're done your fillings and your buttercreams, your cupcakes should be done. Make sure that they're cooled completely before you start filling or icing them, because it will melt the icing or filling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our round tip and we're actually gonna take the fatter side and just stick it into the cupcake like so. Okay, this will give us our little hole for our fillings. Okay, and you can just take this and the unused portion and stick it in a bowl. Okay, And you're just going to do that for all the cupcakes that you have. You should have 24 of them. I'm just showing you a sample. And make sure you turn so that it comes out. And don't worry, you don't have to have a perfect circle come out of the cupcake because your icing will actually cover the filling so you won't see it. Okay, so there you have it. You have your holes for filling. And now we're going to clean out that same tip that you used, and you can fill a piping bag full of the raspberry or strawberry, whichever you prefer to start with. Okay, so now that we've got our holes in our cupcakes, we are going to fill this icing bag. So this is a disposable icing bag. I've cut the tip off and inserted the icing tip into the bag. So you've got a nice secure stop there. So what we're gonna do is actually, this is a trick I learned, is putting this icing bag into a glass, and we are going to cover icing bag tip. So we're just gonna do this. Okay, and we're just gonna poke a hole. So this way it becomes easier. We don't have to like fool around with holding the piping bag while scooping something into it. Okay. So now that we've got that, we're going to go ahead and scoop our raspberry compote into the piping bag. Okay. So once you're done that, you're just gonna pick up the ends of the icing bag. And you're just going to twist the top so that nothing comes out. Okay. Now it's already falling out the bottom just because it's a little bit of a liquid mixture. Okay, so what we're going to do is hold our thumb and our forefinger around the piping bag like so. And we're going to use this hand to guide it if you need to. Otherwise, you can just go like this. And we're just going to fill our cupcakes, okay? So we're going to start here and just fill the mixture in. Okay, don't go too far up. Again, just fill the mixture in. And do this for half of them. And the other half will be strawberry. So the remainder will be strawberry. Okay, so what we're going to do is follow the exact same process that we did with the raspberry compote, but do it for the strawberry. So we've got it already filled in our glass. So I'm just going to pick up the piping bag again. Just be careful that nothing falls out, like it did with the raspberry. And you're just going to hold it like so. Okay, twist the top. Okay. And hold it between your thumb and your forefinger. So now what we're going to do is fill the remainder of our cupcakes with the strawberry. I've just put out a selection right now, so it's only 12 cupcakes, but you would have more. So you would have obviously filled more of the raspberry and then done another tray of the strawberry. Okay, so you might find that the strawberry comes out a little bit thicker. That's okay. Okay, so there you have it. You have your filled cupcakes. Okay, and we're gonna get started now with icing our cupcakes. Okay, so now that we've filled our cupcakes, we are going to start icing them. I've already cut the tips of our icing bags and put our icing tips in there. So I'm gonna show you the 3 tips we're gonna be using today, and we'll take it from there. So the first one is a round tip. Each different brand has different numbers for them. So this one, just try and look for a similar size, okay? So that's one. The next tip we're going to be using is this one right here. You'll see it is a closed star shape, okay? And this is a Wilton, so it's a 2D, okay? And this will be making a rose. And the next one we have is a cool one. It's like a Russian icing tip. It actually produces the rose for you, so you don't have to actually ice that much. So we're going to try it out today. It's quite large, so I needed to use a larger icing bag, so you'll see that the icing bag is quite big, but it's supposed to produce a beautiful rose, so we'll see how it does. So let's get started. We're going to get started with our round tip. We're going to just slide it right in. So we're going to cover the cup. Okay, a big enough hole for your buttercream, and we're going to get started with our raspberry. So I'm going to bring the raspberry icing over. Make sure that you remember which cupcakes you filled with raspberry and which cupcakes you filled with strawberry. Okay, so we're just going to scoop a little bit because I'm going to just show you this one. So we're going to scoop a little bit of the buttercream in there. Try and do 1/3 of it so that you can use the other 3 icing tips. Okay, we're just going to lift it off the glass. And we're just going to push it down, okay? Till it gets to the tip. Okay, so we're going to, again, twist the top so nothing comes out the top. And we're going to hold our thumb and our forefinger around it, okay? And that's what's going to apply the pressure. And you can use this hand if you like to guide. So try and use your dominant hand for the pressure so that you feel more comfortable and confident with what you're doing, okay? So let's get started. So we're gonna get started with the first one here. This is a raspberry filled one. So this is raspberry buttercream, perfect. You can either choose to pick up the cupcake or leave it in the lining, in the tin. I like to leave it in the tin just so I can guide it easily like that, okay? So what we're gonna do here is a nice big swirl. So what we're gonna do is push the buttercream out, okay? We're just gonna cover the hole we made in the middle. Okay, then we're going to slide it out to the side, and we're just going to go piping around a nice confident circle. And when we get to the end, we're going to overlap a little bit over what we've done already and continue piping like that. Okay, until we reach the top. And we're just going to pull up and out, okay? And I like this one because you can just stick a little raspberry on the top and it looks really cute. Okay, so now that we've done our swirl, we are going to get started on our rose. The rose requires a closed tip star. I've already filled the piping bag up with the raspberry buttercream. You're going to follow the same process you did with the other tip and use the glass, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to apply pressure, and we're going to start off in the middle. Make sure you start off in the middle, that's important, otherwise you get a lopsided rose. So when you start off, just apply pressure, and we're just going to take a little walk around the center, okay? Just like so, overlapping slightly over the layer you just did. You're going to keep going, keep constant pressure, and continue to wrap around, slightly overlapping. Okay, and when you reach the end of your cupcake, what you're going to do is just slide or slightly pull away. Okay, and there you have it, a beautiful rose. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now is our last rose, okay? So we've done a swirl, we've done a rose, and this one is a cool Russian piping tip. It actually does a lot of the work for you. So what we're going to do, this is the strawberry buttercream, by the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a strawberry cupcake, and we are going to start in the middle, okay? We're going to apply pressure, okay? And just keep applying pressure and slightly going up a bit. And then we're just going to pull away, okay? And there you have it. It's a beautiful rose. So it's a little different from this rose. So I like to have a little bit of a mix or variety, and it requires less buttercream.